The night the light found a phone felt like the first scene of a long road movie, neon reflections slicing through rain, a small device warming in a palm like a secret, and the sense that something simple could change the way you move through a day. That is where our story with the 2026 itel button phone begins, not with specs on paper but with the quiet human moment of pressing a button and feeling the world respond. You pick it up and the weight surprises you. It is compact and honest, a neat rectangle that fits the curve of your hand the way an old letter fits an envelope. The exterior is a study in resilience and charm. Smooth matte plastic meets a subtly textured back that refuses to show fingerprints. The front face carries the familiar split of screen and keypad, but looked at closely you see the refinements: sculpted keys that click with reassuring precision, a slightly raised D-pad with just enough travel to let your thumb find its place in the dark, and a metallic strip along the edge that catches light and gives the phone a quiet dignity. Colors lean toward practical elegance: deep charcoal, warm bronze, and a cheerful midnight blue that reads both modern and nostalgic. Small details matter here: the hinge of the battery cover, the soft chamfer on the corners, the embossed itel logo that seems to promise durability more than branding. Open the screen and you are met with clarity. The display is bright enough to read under sunlight and gentle enough to rest your eyes at night. It is not a canvas for cinematic movies, but it renders messages, menus, and the occasional low-res photo with crispness that feels intentional. Below it, the keypad is tactile storytelling. Each key press produces a little percussion, a tiny mechanical applause that makes typing feel like composing a short poem. You learn to type without looking, muscle memory returns in the first minute. There is a comforting rhythm to it, like writing letters on an old typewriter in a world obsessed with touch. Inside, the phone is built for purpose. The software is clean and uncluttered. Menus are straightforward: call, messages, radio, torch, camera, and a small suite of basic apps that cover everyday needs without the noise. There is a focus on speed and reliability. Simple tasks do not ask for permission, they happen. Contacts open instantly, messages send without delay, and the call quality is clear enough that conversations feel like standing in the same room. For anyone who grew up threading conversations through crackling lines, this is a revelation. For the younger generation, it is an invitation to rediscover deliberate communication. Performance is not about benchmarks on a graph but about consistency. The processor inside is modest but optimized, and the experience reflects that balance. Juggling calls, a few SMS threads, and the occasional FM radio does not ruffle this phone. It does what it promises and leaves the rest to you. There is no pretension to do heavy multitasking, and in that restraint, there is an elegance. You open the music player and the little speaker fills a small room with surprisingly full sound. The volume is generous, the bass is modest but present. Plug in a pair of wired earphones and the output becomes intimate, almost warm, as if the music has migrated from a distant stage to your pocket. Battery life is one of the true heroes of this story. Where modern smartphones require nightly devotion to charging, this itel whispers endurance. 2, 3, maybe even 4 days of normal usage pass like chapters in a book, each day marked by a single bar drifting slower than you expect. There is a power management philosophy built into the phone that favors long conversations, texts that take time, and music that plays while you cook. For travelers, for people on long shifts, for anyone who needs a steady companion rather than a high-maintenance gadget, this battery changes behavior. It frees you to walk out the door without wires and not regret it. The camera is honest. It captures moments without claiming to be cinematic. Daylight photos are serviceable with good detail and natural colors. Low-light shots are grainier, yes, but often more atmospheric than technically perfect. Portraits have character rather than polish. They remind you that memory is not measured by megapixels alone. Video recording is stable enough for brief clips, for the quick capture of roadside scenes or a child's laughter, and the footage plays back easily on the phone or when transferred to a laptop. For those who want social media-ready content every minute, this is not the phone. For those who want to preserve real life in small, sincere frames, it is enough. Connectivity is pragmatic. 4G support where available, dependable call reception, and the timeless FM radio that works even without data, a feature that nods to both utility and culture. There is Bluetooth for headphones and for basic file sharing, and USB-C charging that eliminates the need to keep an eye on cable orientation. The phone includes a micro SD slot that invites expansion: more music, more photos, more freedom. There is a headphone jack too, a conspicuous act of kindness in a world that has chased minimalism at the cost of convenience. Durability is not advertised with fancy drop tests, it is felt in the build. The phone has an internal toughness. Keys that resist dust, a battery cover that closes with a satisfying click, and a chassis that tolerates the ordinary abuse of pockets and handbags. itel has clearly learned from the environments where this device will live: markets, workshops, long bus rides, and the pocket of a delivery rider. It is a tool designed for life, not for showroom perfection. Usability extends beyond hardware. The interface includes thoughtful features: an SOS key for emergencies that calls and messages a preset contact, an easy-to-reach torch that brightens instantly with a long press, and a large font mode for older eyes that turns the screen into an honest, readable canvas. There is support for multiple SIMs, a small mercy for those who juggle networks for work and family, and lightweight apps to handle payments or quick browsing when necessary. The goal here is simple: put the functions that matter front and center and keep the rest gently in the background. Price is where the math of desire meets reality. The 2026 itel button phone is positioned as an accessible companion. It is not trying to be luxurious, it is trying to be indispensable. When you consider the durability, battery life, and the practical feature set, the price becomes a promise. Reliable communication should not be a privilege. For families, for students, for people starting their first jobs, this phone is a practical gateway. It reminds you that connectivity is a right, not a luxury. There are moments of poetry in small things. The way the screen lights up when you receive a message, the tactile satisfaction of the keypad, the radio that plays through the tinny speaker on a slow afternoon, the simplicity of a phone that asks only that you use it to reach people. In a culture of constant performance, this device insists on being useful. It rewards intentionality. It asks you to talk, to listen, to leave the constant scroll for something quieter. Some compromises are inevitable. If your life is built on high-resolution photography, gaming, and endless apps, this phone will feel limited. There are no flagship camera tricks, no oversized displays for streaming marathon sessions. But those trade-offs are purposeful. The itel button phone doubles down on what it does well: robust calling, durable daily use, long battery life, and a user interface that welcomes rather than overwhelms. Imagine a day with this phone. Wake to an alarm that does not beg you to check notifications. Walk out, keys in hand, and forget your charger. Make a call, connect with a friend, and put the phone back into your pocket, the small comfort of knowing it will be there when you need it. Sit on a bus and tune the FM radio to a station that plays songs you grew up on. Take a quick photo of a market stall and send it to your family. All of these small scenes add up to a more human rhythm, a life that is less tethered and more present. The closing scene of our little movie is quiet. The phone rests on a wooden table, a beam of afternoon sunlight catching its edge. It does not demand attention. It offers service. It reminds us that technology can be kind, unassuming, and reliable. The 2026 itel button phone is not a statement of status, it is a tool of connection. It is designed for people who need a companion to call, to listen, and to last. If you are choosing a device that must endure, that prioritizes voice and battery and straightforward usefulness, this phone deserves a place in your pocket. It is a promise kept in plastic and circuitry, and sometimes that is all you need. The story ends not with a grand reveal but with the simple act of answering a call. Hello, it says. Hello, you say back. The lights of the city hum on, and life goes on.